All right. We are back. We officially starting. Glad to see y'all here. Today, I am Carl Gray the Third. You're going to learn a little bit about me as the time goes on. You're sitting here in my lab. Baby, see, I got the Guy Fawkes mask in the back. That shows that I'm a legit hacker. When you got a mask like that, I actually got four of them in four different colors. So you have a mask like that. That's how you know that I'm a hacker. And you can actually get a mask like that. I'm an ethical hacker, so I don't do anything wrong. And you're going to discover the difference between a hacker and ethical hacker, all that good stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and just jump right in because I know y'all didn't come just to see my pretty face, but we're going to go ahead and jump in and begin. I'm going to start sharing my screen in a couple of seconds. All righty. Share screen 2 and let's go. So you should be able to see it right there. So today is Ethical Hacking 101 information session. You're going to learn today how to start a career in cybersecurity, even if you don't have any computer experience or a cybersecurity degree. You're going to learn the path that I took because no, I was not a computer science major. I did not have a whole bunch of information in cybersecurity. I had never even heard of cybersecurity, which is the crazy part. You're going to hear about me. You're going to hear about some testimonials from people who I've taught who didn't have anything to do with this field prior to them taking classes. You're going to learn how you can learn what I learned and how quickly I turned my entire life around, to be honest. I was going down one path and then I ended up down this path, which ended up being very, very lucrative, very enjoyable for me. So you'll be starting a career, like I said, in cybersecurity, even if you do not have a degree or any cybersecurity experience. All right. So I'm going to talk right now. So we're going to begin talking about cybersecurity. It is one of the fastest growing industries. And I'm not just talking about in the United States. I'm not just talking about in my region. I live in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. In my region, I'm talking about in the United States and in the world. Because with the boom of technology comes the boom of cybersecurity. As you can see, if you think about the technology that you had just 10 years ago, and compared to what you have now, it has grown. And so since it grows like that, that means you also the risks grow because according to Tech Republic, data breaches are increasing more than 50% annually, making the role of a cybersecurity professional specialist extremely important. So everything that we do, because life has gotten so much quote unquote easier, more people are working from home. Your smartphones can do things that you never thought anything could do. Your tablets have become your computers. Houses have become quote unquote smart. Cars have become electric, talking to the cloud. So that means that breaches are going to go up because there are more points of entry, more points of failure. And so our role is very, very important. And so I'm here to tell you today that you are truly in the right place because today's training is perfect for students, people who are still in school, who have an interest in computer and or cybersecurity. It's also perfect for people who are professionals who want to make a change in their career. Like today, I'm going to talk about somebody who was in the field of, and still is in the field of fashion design, and is now switching over to ethical hacking. Today's training is also perfect for people who want to excel and who do excel in problem solving and critical thinking and want to turn that into a lucrative career. Like you could be the kind of person who just kind of thinks like, I wonder how that works. I wonder how this works. That's really how I got started in this field. Not learning a whole bunch of coding, not doing a whole bunch of things with computers. It's simply just being somebody who's inquisitive and wants to learn and wants to know more. So the truth of the matter is, let me tell you, you are worth this. So what I want you to do right now is take some time to close your email. I know we all got emails open. They come day by day. My phone be buzzing all the time off the hook. My phone, my watch, all the smart devices that I have, they're always going off. So close those 20 browser windows you have open. I know I got a whole rack of them open myself. So just go ahead, close them. Most importantly, close the door. Even if you're in the house by yourself, go somewhere where you can close the door and be by yourself. Put your phone and social media on silent. Keep it, just don't let the Instagrams, the Snapchats, the TikToks, the Facebooks, whatever, put them on silent. They will be there when we're finished. And if you're a parent, go ahead and ask your children not to kill each other for the next hour. This won't take an entire hour, but afterwards you want to go ahead and marinate on it. And, just tell the children, go ahead and, if they wrestling, tell them, hold up, just chill for a bit. Go watch. Do they still watch Barney? I don't know what they watch. As long as they're not watching that Caillou. Because I've seen that. I'm not a huge fan. No shade, but hey, it is. So before we get started, let me tell you why you should listen to me. We're going to start with my journey. So my story starts in cybersecurity in 2006. I was 1 year out of college with a bachelor's in political science from the great Hampton University. This is not a picture of me. I just really like this hoodie. But my degree was not in computer science at all. I had some computer experience. I was blessed by my pastor to be able to start with. She actually gave me my first computer when I was younger, but I had never gotten really into cybersecurity. I'd done some things with it, email, internet. I actually broke a few, just to be honest with you, computers on my time up. But the truth is, I had zero cybersecurity experience. I did not even know what cybersecurity was. So if you know what cybersecurity is, you're starting off further ahead than I did. All right. And I had no certifications. There was nothing in the technical field that I had certifications. Mind you, I was doing politics. I was doing political consulting, strategy, community organizing, that type of stuff. This was not sitting here, getting into websites. That wasn't it. But let's fast forward today, 15 years later in 2021. Wow, how time flies. But I'm certified professional in the areas of cybersecurity, IT assurance, and IT auditing. So I'm a CISA. I have a CISA. I certified ethical hacker. So CISA is a certified information systems auditor, CH certified ethical hacker, and CPT certified penetration tester. I have over a decade of experience. I'm I've reached 15 years. Oh my goodness, I'm getting old out there. Over 25,000 hours of paid consulting work. And what's funny is I'm probably closer to 30,000 than I would like to admit of paid consulting work. Hundreds of hours of study, research, and development. Again, probably at thousands now, because I'm always trying to learn so that I can teach more. And I'm the founder and owner of Learn From a Hacker. And what Learn From a Hacker does, I teach people how to become IT professionals. I also teach individuals, organizations, and businesses, and even governments how to protect themselves from hackers. Because, if you have the mindset of a hacker, which is one of the things that we train on, you're also able to teach people how to avoid them. So yes, I teach people how to not get their bank accounts, emails, social media hacked. So all of that type of stuff. How to avoid identity theft, things that really plague people a lot. So they ask you what I do, so what do you do as an ethical hacker? So of course I do ethical hacking and penetration testing. I do security awareness and training, which I just talked to you about. IT audits, where I go into businesses and I teach and I look at their systems and show them what they need to do to correct them in order to protect the information and make sure that financial statement audits are fair. So I assist financial auditors with their piece. Business development. So part of what I do is, as I'm helping people to grow, to protect their information, I'm also showing them how those things help with processes and even profits as a part of my business development and process improvement. Disaster recovery and business continuity. Now, one of the things people don't understand, in the event of disaster, technology is one of the main things that you need. We look at recovery point objectives, recovery time objectives, and the security around those things. If you look at what happened over the past year and a half, where there were many shutdowns, that's actually considered a disaster. And so, the business continuity of that, a lot of that has to do with what the security is behind those things. And again, as I said, should you have any questions or comments or anything like that during this, I want you to go ahead and type them in the chat, and I'll make sure that I get to them, and you'll be able to that you'll have your question answered. All right. All righty, thanks a lot. So moving forward, and then they say who I do it for. So these are some of the companies that I have done work for. I've done work for hundreds of companies. These are some that are more notable. There's Network Solutions, which at the time was the second or third largest provider of ISPs. Did a risk assessment with them. Zeta, Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, a Black Greek letter organization. The National Council of Negro Women, the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency for the United States Treasury, Marriott, Pepco, Exelon, which bought Pepco, the Lynx Corporation, Miami-Dade Transit Authority, Metropolitan Washington Airports Authority, the City of Los Angeles, Maryland Transportation Authority, and the other HU. As y'all know, I went to Hampton, but I still got love for Howard because that was one of my first ever projects when I got into the area of IT assurance. So, these are some of the clients that I've done, and the list goes on and on. I could be here all day talking about them, but I won't. And the truth of the matter is, as I told you, where I started, where I did not have any cybersecurity experience, I won't be able to tell these people anything, to where I am now, where I'm doing this work for all of these clients, having done this over the past 15 years. The truth is, this story can be yours too. I don't consider myself special. It's just taking advantage of an opportunity when I see it. So one of the biggest questions is, does ethical hacking pay? So don't take my word for it, because I'm not going to tell people how much I make. But let's look at the facts. The founder of No Wire Security, Eric Geyer, estimates a more conservative $50,000 to $100,000 per year in your first years of work. So in the first, 3 to 4 years, you could easily be in six figures, depending on your employer, experience, and education. The average salary for someone who has a CEH is $95,000, according to the EC Council Senior Director Stephen Graham. As of October 2019, 2 years ago, the annual pay for an ethical hacker in the United States is over six figures at $115,571 per year. And the thing is, so the truth of the matter is, you can ask yourself, does this pay? The answer is yes. So how did I get here? First of all, I took an interest. It was something that I saw being done that I wanted to do. I took a chance, meaning I spent time, I spent money, I spent, my resources to be able to learn this. I took a class because there was no way to learn this on my own. I had to go to someone who knew more than me. And most importantly, I took control. I stopped, thinking about who can do this or why can't I do this. And I said, I'm just going to do this. I just made the steps to take action. And what I want to help you do today is truly take control of the future, because we know cybersecurity is the future. With skills in cybersecurity, in ethical hacking, you can be sure not only will you always have a job, and I'm going to even talk today about different jobs in ethical hacking, because some people may think it's one thing, but it's so much more than that. But you'll also be able to protect yourself and your family from emerging threats. You'll be the one. You will not be the one who has, who's posting, "Oh my goodness, y'all, they hacked my Instagram, they hacked my bank account. I can't believe this. Somebody stole my identity." You'll learn how to protect yourselves from those type of things, because you'll know how that person thinks. The first day we talk about the mind of a hacker, and we talk about, what they're looking for and things of that nature. So here are the things you may have heard about cybersecurity. That you have to be great at computers to start. I told you I wasn't. Jobs in cybersecurity are isolated from people. Anyone who knows me can tell you I'm not an isolationist. Yes, there's a lot of things I do on my own, but I'm not the type to just sit in the basement by myself doing the. I'm in my lab most of the time when I'm working, but and I'll even tell you about stories of how I interact with even very high level people. You have to have a degree in computer science. My degree is in political science, and it takes years to learn how to hack. Very, very untrue. And you may think that you're either too young or too old to get into cybersecurity, but the truth of the matter is, you can be an ethical hacker in less than 2 months, and actually, you could be ethical hacker in less than 1 week. And we're going to talk about this. And we just talked about the myths that you may have heard. So let me tell you the truth. Whatever you're doing right now can likely translate into cybersecurity. I don't care what you do. If you're working at a cash register, you're in fast food, if you're in a trash man, Rock. I don't know how old some of y'all are, but I watched the show Rock. I could turn Rock into a cybersecurity professional. I can turn him into an ethical hacker. I promise you that. Jobs in cybersecurity are not isolated from people. What we do involves interacting. We do social engineering. We do audit, security assessment. You have to have a degree in computer science. You actually don't have to have any degree, even though it is recommended because some contracts require that. But there's so many certifications that you can get that don't even require a degree. Before it takes years. And the truth is, like I said, I can turn you into a job ready ethical hacker before the summer is over. And number four, you're too young or too old to get in cybersecurity. And after that, I'm like, oh nah. I actually have students from age 14 to age 58 and everywhere in between in that. So yes, it's all about if you're ready to take the time and take control of the future, because like I said, it does not take years to learn how to hack, because as a matter of fact, by the end of this webinar, I'll have you ready to get started, plain and simple. So let me go ahead and start. Let's get rid of some of your false accusations and things you may have in your mind about what a hacker is. So what is a hacker? The truth is, the hacker is a person who spends a great deal of time tinkering with hardware or software, either to develop more efficient programs or to bypass unnecessary steps to get the job done more quickly. Or they could be white hat or black hat. I'm not going to talk about the criminals. They do what they do. I'm a white hat ethical hacker through and through. No, we're not going to talk about hacking Sally Mae, Navient, whatever you want to call it. No, I'm not going to hack nobody's bank account, that type of stuff. But the truth of the matter is, the only real difference between an ethical hacker and a criminal hacker is permission. I have permission to do what I do. Companies hire me to do the same things that the criminals do. Like that's the only real difference. So what is the job of an ethical hacker? We are the ultimate security professional. No one does what we do. Most people do not try to figure out the mind of a bad guy. They don't do that, and because we do the exact same things, just we exploit the vulnerabilities and the weakness in the systems, just like a malicious hacker would do. Just like some of those people you may have heard of that have done negative things. We do the same thing that they do. We have the same skills, but we just use them in a legitimate and lawful manner. And I will tell you this: when you start my class, you will sign a code of ethics that tells you, what you can do and what you can't do, and that if you do it the wrong way, that ain't got nothing to do with me. We're programmers who legally attempt to break computers in order to find vulnerabilities. Also, we expose the vulnerabilities so that our target entity can mitigate them before they're illegally or accidentally exposed. And we help to inform and protect clients from threats and providing recommendations for system security improvements. So every hack that you've heard likely could have been prevented by an ethical hacker. So the truth of the matter is, you can be the person that helps to prevent people. If you heard about the SolarWinds attack, if you heard about what happened to Heartland Bank, if you heard what happened to Target some years ago, Wells Fargo, there's so many places that have been hacked. Metropolitan Police Department, so many places, I promise you, so many people been hacked, that ransomware type of stuff. It could all be prevented by us. And so you go in and you tell people, hey, this is what I do, and this is what it'll protect you from, because it costs $437 per record to when somebody is breached, between loss in sales, insurance raising, them having to provide identity theft protection for people. So and nobody ever steals just one record. So if a company has 1,000 records stolen, that's $437,000. It's so much better for them to pay you $100,000, right? Say, hey, I can do this for $100,000, so you're going to put $400,000 in the future. Hey, it's just logical. But so jobs for an ethical hacker, full time, you could be a network administrator, you could be a security investigator, a penetration tester like myself. You can do web admin, host people's websites securely. You can do data security analysis specialist, computer and digital forensics, IT administrator, consultant, manager. You can do defense technicians. You can go into the military or things like that. Social engineer was one of my favorite ones, and actually doesn't even require a whole lot of different technical skills. It's just being able to get in the mind of people. It's human hacking. But even if you don't want to fully change into career, this actually works as a great side hustle. I'm just starting to talk about this, the side gigs that you can have for an ethical hacker, things you can even do on your own. Data recovery, when you go into people's computers that have lost files. Like I teach you how to recover files off of computers. CPU recovery. Somebody can't get into their machine because they forgot their password. We can get right past that. That's what hacking is. Security awareness trainer, meaning you go into places and you teach people how not to get hacked. uh, Website vulnerability scanning. Let's say small businesses that have e-commerce on websites, running scans on them to make sure. And we'll talk about different vulnerability scanning versus penetration testing. But those type of things can actually help them because they have to be PCI compliant. The people pay a lot of money to stay compliant. You can be a bug bounty hunter. There are companies out there who put out different way their programs, and hackers go in, find bugs, and then report them and get paid thousands and thousands of dollars for that. Personal investigator, you can use the open source things. You can learn how to look on Google in ways that you've never thought before. And personal investigators, that's what they do. Compliance testers, as I talked about before, there's HIPAA, there's PCI, there's so many different compliance things that ethical hackers do because people have to have these things done by independent third parties. And you can do this 3-4 hours a week, a day, or even a week, sometimes depending on what it is, and bring in some extra income. And like I said, social engineer. Again, you can do that on the front side full time. You can do it part time. Companies will hire you to walk into places and hack them real quick. So, what does it take to be an ethical hacker? So let's start. A sharp mind. Just somebody who thinks quick on their feet. It's just like, okay, you see something and you make a move. It goes without saying that quick and efficient decision making are two of the most important characteristics of an ethical hacker. Problem solving should be a major skill possessed by someone who's trying to break into systems and networks that are laced with security mechanisms. You show how to get around them. In fact, the tougher the job, the more you will shine. Because that's where your mind goes. An ethical compass is very important that that you only use what I tell you for good. I'm just being real with you because you'll end up with access to things that most people won't have access to, and you have to be willing to do what's called responsible disclosure. It's one of the things we talk about is responsible disclosure of any information and data that you may find. Have to always be willing to learn and expand your knowledge. Because it's always improving. Think about how many times you've had to update, whether it be your computer, your phone, your tablet, in the past month or year. With every update, there's a new vulnerability, and those are things that we stay up on. And even when you're part of my network, one of the things that we do is we keep you up on what's going on. Networking skills, and I'm not talking about ones and zeros and Ethernets and all that. I'm really just talking about being able to talk to people, because you will be in front of people that are very high level. I've talked to CEOs, CIOs, CFOs, because they want to know. Oftentimes, if I'm brought in as a third party hacker contractor, the people who even hire me don't necessarily know what to tell people. So I handle a report like, well, you have to be the one to present these. So, you'll learn those type of things. And I do talk about that in class. Education. And again, I'm not talking about a degree, but what I am saying is that there's no substitute for learning. In cybersecurity, it's a highly technical field. Education plays an important role. And like I said, it's not required to be a computer science graduate, because I am not. It is important that you do, always keep learning, and even do some what they call continuous learning, and just stay up on it. I'm always on YouTube. I'm always, looking at, people who are ahead of me in the field, studying and even developing things on my own. And one of the great things about our program is we always learn together. Even after the boot camp, there's a year where we have access to each other, where we're, always doing things. We do live labs and things of that things of that nature together. So are you ready to start learning? And I know the answer is yes. So I'm going to answer it for you. I'm not going for you to type it in. Are you ready to start the journey on the recession-proof career of ethical hacking? That's what I say, recession-proof, because yes, during the pandemic, when everything shut down, during the 08 crash, when everybody was losing bread, that's when I was doing my best, because this is when people get desperate and they want to make sure that everything is together. Now, what you will need is you'll need a personal computer with Windows 7 or better, I recommend Windows 10. 8 gigs of RAM, 64-bit as well. 8 gigs of RAM, 100 gigs of free memory or more. I recommend at least 250 is really good. Or you can even build your entire lab on Amazon Web Services for free, and we'll show you how to do that. So that's basically what you need. And I wouldn't say go out and buy a new computer. Some people choose to do that. The computers that I use to hack, I got from the pawn shop. So, and I'll even show you how to turn that into a lean, mean hacking machine. All right. Here's the methodology. I'm going to go ahead and teach you something that I start off in lesson 1 with. We do planning. As with everything, you have to know how to plan. I show you step by step, as you walk into a client, as you're looking at a target, what to look for. We do intelligence gathering where we look on Google. My intern does a great lesson on Google dorking, where there are things that you've probably never heard of or never seen within Google, where we're able to get documents, we're able to find out things, you're able to see login pages, look at security cameras, all of that through Google legally. Footprinting, when you go into a place and you're able to see what they have, what we say is, what animals are in the zoo, what routers, what switches, what devices, what phones, what type of software they have on there. Enumeration, we're able to see what services are there, what ports are open, what protocols are they running, what type of traffic do they have, capturing web traffic, all of that. Vulnerability identification. So once you have all of those things, you want to know how to exploit them. If they're running a Windows 2003 machine or 2005, 2008, if there's a Mac OS, if it's Linux, all of that, what vulnerabilities lie there. And even if you stop right here with vulnerability identification, which is a project that can last, maybe a week or 2 weeks, and pay up to $50,000 or more, and just to tell people what is wrong and how to fix it. That in and of itself is a great career. And with each of these steps, there is a career involved. So even if you only are the person who's doing the planning, you could be a project manager. If you're only doing the OSINT intelligence gathering, that in and of itself is like a private investigator. Footprinting, enumeration, vulnerability identification, all of those things are specific. Social engineering goes into this part. Where you can do entire careers in if you just focus on one of them, just to be honest with you. But then, ultimately you want to get to vulnerability exploitation, where once you've seen the vulnerability, how are you hacking into the machine? What are you doing with it? Whether it be grabbing a folder or putting a document there, defacing a website, all of those things. Then, of course, there's detection evasion, which we do the entire process. Yes, I will show you how to look like you're doing hacking from any other country. We don't do China, we don't do Russia, that type of stuff. But and again, all of this done legally, because even when you're doing a client that has hired you, you don't want them to see where you're coming from, because they're not trying to stop you, because their job is the blue team. You're the red team, they're the blue team. And the blue team's job is to try to prevent you to get in. So if they see you coming from here, they'll try to block you here. But then if you do detection evasion, once they stop here, you jump like you're coming from somewhere else. All of those type of things. Now, let me tell you about my very, very, very first hack. And in my very first hack, what I did was I had taken a class just like the one that I offered, just like the one that I show you. What you do is what I did was, after I took the class and my company that I was working for got hired to do a penetration test on a what we like to call a quasi-governmental organization, meaning they're not the government, but what they do is very much tied into the government. And I will not tell you what that client's name was. But what I had to do was I used every single thing that I just talked about. I started off with social engineering. I was able to get someone's username and password. I used that username and password to actually traverse their network. So I was able to run scans on there, see what was open, see what was done. Then I plugged into an open port that they happen to have. I used those to traverse their network and see their folders, and I was able to get to over 10,000 FBI background check files. No, this company was not the FBI, but they, as when people do background checks, some of them actually use the FBI. They don't use third parties, they actually get it from the FBI themselves. And I was able to see, names, addresses, social security numbers, criminal history for some pretty powerful individuals. Some folks, and because again, as I talk about responsible disclosure, I didn't go through it, didn't copy it, didn't download it for myself, gave it straight to the client as evidence. That was my trophy. As I talk about, as we talk about in our class, we talk about, what is your trophy? What are you going after? And some people were very happy that I did it. Some people were very upset that I did it, because it didn't necessarily make them look good. It made them look bad in it. But that was my very first hack out the box. Meaning I wasn't quite sure if what I learned in class was going to work, but it worked, and it worked immediately. To my favor. And I felt pretty good about it. See, it brightened my face up just that quick. But again, and just to let you all know, should you have any questions, please continue to type them in there, and I will address them at the very end during the question and answer session. So I do see your questions popping up, and I will answer them at the end. Thank you very much. But yeah, that was my very, very, very first hack. And so I really want you all to know that this does work. And I'm going to share another story about how I did some things independently to make money, and how you can do that. As I said, part-time side gigs. I actually still do that every once in a while on the side. So yeah, that was my very, very, very first hack. And I want you to stop and see yourself in that position, where after you finish this class, you're able to walk into somewhere and do the simple things that most people don't do. Like they say, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. Meaning you don't have to be a super expert. You have to know more than everybody else. And that's where I want to get you started. Yes, this is a starting. This is dipping your toe in, and I have you pay thousands of dollars to learn something, and you're not sure about it. We started at a lower level than that, so you'll see. So like I said, our program is for people to jump in and see. But can you see yourself in that situation where you are the expert at sitting across the table from CIOs, CFOs, very powerful individuals? Like I've always been, my conversations are never with, the run-of-the-mill person. They just aren't, because the people in charge are very concerned about this. They want to talk to the expert in their field, helping major corporations. You saw the people that I've worked for over the past 15 years, and I've been helping them protect themselves against the bad guys. And I can tell you that nobody, after I've done a penetration test, and we recommend they do them regularly, but they don't get hacked after they talk to us. We say, this is what you should fix. And if they fix it, they're protected. Of course, you can never guarantee 100%, but you just make sure that they're not low hanging fruit. Like I said, sitting at the table of CFOs, CEOs, CIOs, all of them, giving them expert advice. And yes, we teach you that expert advice right here, and we don't even leave you hanging. All right. So you showed up today for a reason, maybe more than one. Even though you're super busy, the sun is out, cicadas are gone, it's vacation time, but you showed up today because you understand the job landscape is changing. And whether you be in high school, college, you're already in a career, you're unemployed, underemployed, looking to turn your career around, you don't want to get stuck in a dead-end profession. Imagine being the person who fixed CDs when iPods came out. They didn't know what to do. So we're able to jump. And today I have great news for you. You have two choices. I'm not going to go sit there and say I'm the only way to make this happen. You have option A, where you can do it with what you've learned today. You can do it yourself. You just go out there and discover everything I've taught you, and become an ethical hacker. Now, I'll be honest, it may include more trial and error than you'd like. And I'll be honest, next year you'll be wishing you had done a different way. But you can do it, and it may take long. It may take the 25,000 hours. Like you can go try to do 25,000 hours like I've done. But or you can take advantage of what I've done and fast track your results to become a career ready ethical hacker. Now with option A, I'm going to tell you exactly what to do, and you can write this down right now. You can you can search YouTube, you can search Google, you can do lessons. Imagine YouTube is actually starting to take down videos on ethical hacking because they say that it promotes things that they don't want to promote. And you have to create your own test lab, which costs thousands of dollars, because you can't go hacking Google, you can't go hacking Amazon, you can't go hacking those things without getting arrested. Truth be told, I'm gonna tell you, you can't do that. You have to study your own methodology to develop them yourself. Again, a whole lot of trial and error. And even before that, you'll have to figure out what to study and where to start. And so, that's what you can do. And again, should you have any questions, go ahead and type them down. But let me show you what's quickly possible. Because I'm normally at this time, I will be inviting you to a 7-week intensive training where you do 1 day a week and with me, and you go through all this stuff, and in 7 weeks you become ethical hacker. However, what I would rather do is invite you to a 5-day accelerated boot camp starting this coming Monday, July 26th, 2021, from 11 to 3 p.m. Now, what if that time is inconvenient? Don't worry, I got that covered. Just stick around, man. I'm telling you, I got you. I promise you, I got you. But I want to turn you into a career-ready ethical hacker in 5 days, where you can go from 0 to hero in days, not weeks. And by the end of my course, you'll know the fundamentals of ethical hacking and cybersecurity. You're able to be able to perform numerous hacking and penetration tests. This is not a class where you pull out a pen and paper. Yes, there will be some notes that you will want to take. You'll have to take and all that good stuff. But that ain't what this is about. This is about hands-on. This is about you putting, you pulling out your computer and you doing hacking on yourself. You hacking me. You hacking my interns. Like all of that. My staff. Like we're here to get you, hands-on experience, walking you through these things. You'll have marketable skills to be used in the workforce. Be able to use on side gigs by yourself. You'll be able to put ethical hacker with confidence on your resume. And I tell you, as soon as you put that on LinkedIn, as soon as you put that on resume builder, monster.com, all of those places, your inbox will begin to blow up. I'm trying to tell you, I don't go a day where it's Facebook or somebody trying to hire me to do something. Most of the time I'm turning them down because I got my own stuff, but it will just completely blow up. You can Google right now jobs for ethical hacker and see how many are out there. We currently have a 0% unemployment in our field because there are more jobs to fill than people to fill them. So, why boot camp? Why this boot camp? Because number one, we are not just theory and information. These are actual hands-on labs. Like right now, my staff is developing labs that you'll be able to hack for up to a year after you do this, where you'll continue to be able to practice on this. Fully immersive experiences help to retain and obtain information. So yes, during this time, yes, it's a long time. And again, like I said, if 11 to 3 don't work for you, there's another option. Just stick with me. Constant achievement boosts confidence. Every day you will learn something and you will succeed at something. We'll give you the mind of a hacker. And yes, and we even have one-on-one career planning for you. So we're not just saying, hey, you've learned this, go to the wolves. We actually teach you how to turn this into a career and give you a roadmap. But let me tell you another quick story. This all started with a Facebook post. And y'all know how Facebook is. People put something out there and some people will jump on it. Have you ever said somebody been looking for, let's say, I'm trying to get somebody to mow my lawn, or I need somebody, a mechanic. Well, in this case, this is how this USB drive may be $150 in 15 minutes. Now, you can do the math. Let's say if I did 4 of those an hour, then that's, $600 an hour, which is a lot for some people. It's a lot for me, to be honest with you. So this is, and again, results not typical, but this is what works. So the story was, somebody posted that they could not get into their computer because they forgot the password. It's an old computer, and what they wanted, they were like, can somebody just get the data off for me? They wish they could have gotten the computer to use it, but it's like, I don't want to lose my pictures, don't want to lose my documents. They hadn't saved everything to the cloud and all that kind of stuff. So I hit them on the inbox because, I wasn't too confident. Again, I was fresh out. And I wasn't too confident at the time, but I was like, you know what? I learned this. Let me see if I can do this. And so I had them bring the computer to me face to face. It's something you have to do face to face. And I said, I let them drop this off. And I'm like, look, I got to figure out if I can do this or not, if what I learned worked. But I was able to stick this USB in there, do a couple commands on it, and I bypassed the password. And once I bypassed the password, I was able to get in. And not only was I able to get them their data that they wanted, they were able to use the computer again because the password was then gone. They gave them just a privilege escalation, so password cracking, and all that type of stuff, which is what I teach in this camp that I do. And they were able to do it. It took me less than 15 minutes to do, But of course, I waited a little while because, you got to make it think it's hard, harder than it was. And came back and they gave me, the $150. If you do just a few of those a day, that's an easy side gig, something that you can do. And I will show you how to do this. So in our camp, these are the modules that you learn. The basics of ethical hacking. I show you, basically what is a hacker, how to build your lab. You build your own lab the same way that mine is built. I know there's some places I actually talked to a friend who's paying like, $20,000 a year to go to a major university's cybersecurity program, and they're using tools that don't even work in the field. And I have no idea why they wouldn't do that. I give you exactly what I use. You will get the Kali Linuxes, the Nessuses, the Rapid 7s, those type of things that I use in the field to be able to hack. Then our module 2 is using your tools. You'll learn, and if you have zero experience in Linux, we'll teach you the codes, the syntax, all of that kind of stuff. Then we do assessments and discovery. How to, go into a client site and find out what's there. Again, you will see computers the way you've never seen them before. We do attacking, which is very important. If you become a hacker, yes, day 4, we're actually attacking everything. Actually, start attacking on day 3. We go faster than that because it's the boot camp. Then we do web hacks, like, yes, how to hack websites, how to, go through, cracking passwords, changing things, pulling data down, all that type of stuff. And most importantly, closing out a hack. What is necessary for you, because that's what clients pay for. They pay for the hack. They pay for the report. So again, like I said, we can talk about in module 1, what is a hacker? The elements of a hack, setting up your lab, maintaining your lab. Then module 2, the basics of your hacking box. There are over 600 tools that you can use to do, the information gathering, the web hacking, the privilege escalation, all of that type of stuff. Kali Linux, again, this is what everybody uses in the field. Kali Linux, a pair of things like that. Using the Metasploit framework, I like to call Metasploit framework every hacker's favorite tool, where you're able to get into things. We do Hack the Box, and as well as other online tools and labs that you can use. We do actual, a walkthrough of those type of things. Module 3, assessment and discovery. We do information gathering. Like I said, you will learn Google in a way you never, ever, ever knew existed. There are things that I've seen on Google I know people don't want to be seen. There have been times I had to go and tell people, hey, you got this sitting out there. Like, I can see your baby cam. Fix this. That's responsible disclosure. Again, port and protocol discovery. You'll learn about, what is running on a machine. Like, you'll end up starting to run scans of your own machine every once in a while to make sure you ain't got nothing crazy going on. Identifying vulnerabilities. Again, vulnerability assessment in and of itself is a great career. Then we go to attacking, exploitation, doing reverse shells, password attacks, cracking passwords, putting down passwords, changing passwords, client side exploits, putting things on machines, taking things off machines, all of that type of stuff. Then in our web attacks, we do social engineering. I tell how do people create those sites where they're stealing your passwords? SQL injection. How are you able to get into backend databases? Wireless attacks, how to capture traffic from wireless networks. Points exploitation. Once you get in, what the heck do you do with it? Then we talk about putting it all together, how to develop a report, evidence maintenance, because as you go through, you have to maintain evidence so that you can repeat it and report it. Reporting, what do you put in the report? How to go back and forth with management, because, this is not just about the hard skills, but also the soft skills. Presenting, when you're going and you're talking to people, what exactly are you telling them? Restoration, because you never want to leave something on there that you put on there. Like, you have to, anything you broke, quote unquote, I talk about anything you break, you fix. And we never really break anything, but it's just, if you put something on there, you change a password, you pull out a firewall rule or something, you change a firewall rule, something like that, you got to fix it. Now, how class works. So this is how the class works. And again, like I said, bear with me. If the 11 to 3 time doesn't work, I got something for you. We do 4-hour instructor-led class. It's myself and my staff teaching you everything, and you're there. We're taking you step by step. Even if all you know is how to turn on the computer, we got you. Interns and teaching assistants, we help you through any questions, comments, and concerns that you may have. hands-on interactive lessons in custom-made labs. Labs on your computer as well as labs that we have on the web. Like y'all will be, hacking back and forth. It's crazy. Uh, Optional enhanced lessons by interns and staff. So if you want to learn how to build your lab on AWS, if you want to, do different things outside of we teaching class, there are optional classes that will also be available for you to do on your own. So what if that time doesn't work? Like I said, so every evening there'll be live moderated replays, meaning that what was taught during the day will be shown, and you'll be able to ask questions of myself and my staff just as if it were being shown live. So that means you'll be able to see it like it was done in the morning and still ask questions, so that you'll be able to understand it. So that'll be every evening from 5 to 9. And if that doesn't work for you, we're also doing on-demand replays, meaning it will be up in the hub where you'll be able to watch it for an entire year. Now, I know you're curious about price, but before we talk about price, let's talk about value. How much to you would it be worth to be able to put Ethical Hacker on, or proficient in cybersecurity, on your resume, your curriculum vitae, your profile, all that kind of stuff? I'm gonna tell you, it's worth a lot. How much is it worth for you to have your inbox full and your phone off the hook with offers? I'm telling you, it's worth a lot. So don't take my word for it. Let's talk about Testimonial. So this is from one of our students. She says, I've taken many classes with Carl. I'm Carl. And she learned how to protect her children online, especially your girls, because she has daughters, and ethical hacking, and how to even protect herself while shopping online. These are all things that you learn. Her favorite class, of course, is ethical hacking. So it says, the classes are hands-on, on demand, and help is available from Carl as well as his interns. His knowledge and experience translate technical jargon into understandable language, made it easy to absorb. I highly recommend Learn from a Hacker to everyone, especially parents of young children, because all the classes are very informative, life-saving, and resourceful. Man, that made me feel good. Like I actually know what I'm talking about, right? This testimonial is from Linton Goss. He's 16-year-old, and prior to 2020, he had no cybersecurity experience at all. He said, never would I have known it was this simple. In the early summer 2020, with everyone stuck at home, his mom discovered his internship in cybersecurity. He said he could learn a lot about the field, and since he was interested in how cybersecurity worked, I decided to apply for it. Out of nowhere, I got an email saying he got in. So he learned from me over the past year. Most cybersecurity tutorials are really convoluted and detailed classes, but Mr. Gray makes things easy to understand and easy to get into. You actually think that you'd have to be old or have a bunch of certifications to be good at cybersecurity, but I'm proof that this misconception is false. This has been a great experience for me, and I hope everyone tuning in has a good learning experience. Man, that makes me feel great. So we have, as I talked about, Miss Taylor. She is, let me tell you, I'll go back. So she is actually a fashion designer who, develops clothes. And initially she was having a rough time when she first got into the class. She was having a hard time developing putting her lab together and all that. But as you'll learn, as you see scrolling across the bottom, I have a bounty program. We're actually able to win money. And she actually was the person who finished her final exam first and won the money. Like, she was able to hack into me, change the name of my server, and she won. So, and Linton has actually become one of my interns, and he's going into his senior year of high school. He just got his driver's license yesterday, and he's doing well. I even have one of my interns who just got an offer from the NSA to get a job. So, I mean, all of these things, is well beyond, what they pay for this. So what would you pay in the open market? Now, first, I'll tell you, the course that I took was $3,000, and that was over 8 years ago. And these prices have more than doubled now. Even self-paced online courses can cost nearly $2,000 for all of the information. And the truth of the matter is, you will not get all the information that I'm telling you about in one course. I can guarantee it. And because of the demand in the market, all of the content I'll be sharing with you, I was actually told, like, this isn't even something I've figured out myself, that I should not charge less than $2,500 per person. And if you don't believe me, look at this screenshot that I took. Someone doing the exact same thing at the exact same time, as you can see, July 26th through the 30th, and it's $4,000 for 5 days. instructor-led course with labs and exams. The same thing that I'm doing. The exact same thing that I'm doing for $4,000. But I'm not charging that. That's not how I roll. And trust me, once this class is over, you'll probably never hear from that instructor again. And again, that's nearly $4,000. And I'm not charging that because I know how tough times are. And so I'm not going to sit here and try to gouge people. And I also know the demand in the industry is so high that after this course, I'll have more students than I can handle, and I'll be charging more. So, you'll never get this price again. I'm going to let you know that right now. But that's not the whole story. That's my version of, but wait, there's more. As I told you, on-demand access is not optional. It's not something you have to pay more for. This comes with it. Normally people, charge up to $1,000 for this. And, most programs don't even offer the on-demand access after you're finished. Because my courses are so intense, hands-on and fast-paced, sometimes you have to go back and watch again. And I'm not talking about watching again that evening. I'm talking about watching again maybe a month or so later. I want you to still have that because you get the opportunity to really understand what's being said. Let's say you end up with a project and you're like, wait, how do I do that? I don't want you to have to go Googling something. I want you to go back and look at exactly what you did in class so you can do it all over again. It also allows you to go at your own pace. Yes, you'll be in the class intensely, but say, I need to go back. Like there are things that I learned years ago that I wish I could go back and look at and do again. But no, I got to develop my own type of stuff. And again, you're taking advantage of the over a decade of experience that I have. So yeah, normally that's $900 in itself. I'm not charging you that because remember, this is $2,500 on top of $900. So we're at $3,400 already. Then, okay, this is the historic James Hall at Hampton University. This is where I stayed. I stayed in this room right here at the top, 507. But what we have is what's called our digital dorm room, where the community of your fellow students, not only the students that are there now, but also students that have already taken it. You can cheat off of them. I don't mind. Be like, hey, yo, how do you do this? How do you do that? Maybe something that they're better than you, they're better at than you than you are, and you want to help. That's fine. We get daily updates on real-time happenings in the cybersecurity world. Hacks that people don't know about, things that have happened, ways you can even protect yourself. That is what you do. And normally you can go and look. Being in these communities are up to $200 per year just to do that. And so we're adding all of this to it. But this final bonus was not my idea. My interns made this happen. I couldn't believe it. Didn't want to do it. Like you can do interactive on-site labs. My one program, meaning most programs require you to provide your own practice labs outside of what they do initially in your VM. Anything else outside of that you can't do. But what we do is we provide real life scenarios, multiple mock servers for an entire year, meaning these are web servers, so you can practice SQL injection, cross-site scripting. These are Windows servers you can practice on in real Windows network environments. All of that. We do walkthroughs on actually how to do it. So so that you can learn and you're not just doing this on your own. And this is probably the most valuable part of the interns. Again, this is an entire year of on-site interactive labs where you'll be able to practice on, where you're not having to go and pay for your own AWS servers. You're not having to go and do anything outside of just log in using the IP address that I give you, and it's available 24/7. That in and of itself is $3,000. Ask me how I know, because that's what I pay for it. All right. So all of that together could be up to $6,600. But again, I'm not not asking you to pay all that. And as a matter of fact, I have a bounty program. Starting day 3, there will be a cash bounty open to all students. So yes, you'll be able to win cash by putting the skill that you've learned to use immediately. Yes, that is immediately. So you'll be able to even earn some of the money back. And again, don't leave. I got more than I'm offering you. Remember I talked about how you do one-on-one with me? Yes. But the price is only $797, or you can do 2 easy payments of $450. And so to enroll, simply go to bootcamp at learnfromahacker.com. That's bootcamp.learnfromahacker.com. But wait, I'm not finished, because I really want you to have success, because it makes me look good. Everyone who successfully completes the course, and mind you, I make this course to be completed. I make it for you to succeed. Everybody who completes it will get $100. Plain and simple, just by finishing it. Even if you don't win the bounty, you can get this. You'll get this back. But again, I said I'm not finished, because I'm pressed for you to succeed. What I'll do is once you're finished and you've passed the class, we will have a one-on-one session We'll be discussing your specific path to being successful in this field. We'll discuss what certifications you want, what focuses and disciplines you should look at based on what you have learned and what you enjoy. We'll plan out your roadmap to success and even a plan of action and milestones to get you to where you want to be, whether this be doing a side hustle, whether this is going full time or doing both. We will map it out for you. So let me show you what you can expect when you purchase. Mind you, we're hackers, and so we know that sometimes people be trying to do some funny stuff, because I want to remove any doubt about the buying process. So you go to the checkout page and you'll have either the option to do the 2 payments or the 1 payment. Of course, I recommend the 1 payment because you save $100. You'll see exactly what you're going to be getting, and you'll be able to go to the bottom and see testimonials. And for the next 24 hours, each student who pays in full, remember you'll get this bonus lab on how to create this that I use. It's my favorite tool in the field. It's what I use to bypass passwords and client logins, uncover deleted files, and even perform cyber forensics. Yes, I'm CSI with this joint. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Turning any computer, any Windows computer into your own personal hacking machine. Yes, I can take your computer and start hacking somebody else with it. Yes, I can do that with a simple USB drive. Ain't nothing special about it when you buy it, but it's special about what you do. So yes, we will give you a bonus lab on how to do that subsequent to the class. All right. So again, all of this, including that, could be over $7,600, but today's price, again, $797. 2 payments of $450 or $797, whichever you choose to do. Should you have any questions, comments, concerns, speculations, let me know. I'm here for you. We got about 15 minutes left, for questions, because brother gotta eat. It's been a long day. My watch is telling me that my heart rate is up. So yeah, I done burned a lot of calories and all that good stuff. So if you have any questions, okay, I see some in there already. It's called Awesome Journey. How valuable is attaining the CEH certification and skills for non-hackers, encoders, and non-technical students? It's very, very, very good. That's something that you definitely want to do. And that'll be a part of the roadmap. I'll show you how to do that. I actually have programs and partnerships with people where you can actually get those certifications for a whole lot less. So I want you to be able to do that. Again, if you have any other questions, comments, concerns, speculations, just let me know. If you need any have any personal questions, send me an email and all that good stuff. Let's see. You've been wanting to learn this and cybersecurity, never got started. Now may be the time. No, now is the time. Trust me, now is the time that you want to do this. Go ahead and jump on in and do it. It's not hard at all. I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you do it. And so, go ahead and go to bootcamp.learnfromahacker.com. I'm here to help you. Again, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, jump on, pass it to anybody and so if there are no more questions, I'll give about a few more seconds. If there aren't any more questions, I'll close this out. But you know how to reach me. You can email me, cgray@prototypeconsultinggroup.com. Again, go ahead to the site. We'll make it happen for you. Any other questions, just reach on out. But this will be up live on YouTube and Facebook, and even on the Eventbrite page. Should you have any, should you want to go back and look at it? And I'm here for y'all. Thank y'all so much for joining me. It's going to be a great time. Y'all have a good one. I'm out.